Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. I've got the day off, so I decided to, hanging out in my sweatshirt, shorts, and moccasins, I'll make a video for you showing you some of the sounds from one of the songs on my record. This is going to be, these are two parts from the song March of the Many, and that's the second song on my record, Promises Kept. So this first part, I'm going to show you the pedals actually here shortly, but let me just play you the little segment from that song. I'll show you what I'm going to talk about. So that part of the song is, it's got this higher pitched guitar that jumps up almost in pitch in double time. And the way I do that is through the line 6 loop function, and I loop it in a half time. So you loop your normal time in half time, and then when you bump it back to what it thinks is normal time, it's now double time. And let me show you the pedals here first, the different settings I got. Before I show you the pedals here, actually, I'll just show you the amp I'm using is this Vox Valvetronix AD30VT, and I've got it mic'd with a condenser mic, this Audio-Technica AT2020, and in this video I'm playing through an Ibanez SZ320EX. So the most important pedal actually for this part of the song is obviously the line 6 DL4. In loop mode, I turn the mix all the way to be, full wet. I'm not concerned with playing anything beyond the little piece that I'm looping and then manipulating. So I keep that mix all the way to the right, to the full wet sound. And if you switch it there into halftime mode, that's what I'm starting in. And the only other pedal I have on is the little Big Muff Pi from Electro-Harmonix. I've got the tone, the middle knob there, most of the way towards like a treble-y sound, pretty high on the tone. The volume is pretty standard, and the sustain is just a little bit above the middle. So that's the only other pedal I'm using, doing all the modulation and manipulation and things on the DL4. All right, so what I'm actually doing here, as far as the notes I'm playing, it's just on the high E string and the B string, and it's just 4 notes, 15th fret, 12th fret on the E string, both those two, and then 15 and 12 on the B string. So it's just these notes. Just those 4 notes, but the pattern is sort of jumpy and bounces around, and here's the pattern here. So that's the pattern I'm playing, and I'm looping that through the line 6 DL4 in halftime. So I loop it in its halftime function, which you can turn on from the button on the far right when you're looking at the pedal. You loop it in that setting, and so that when you turn it off, it's jumping to double time technically. So let me show you what that looks like here. So that's how I make that sound and then get it into the RC2 loop station, which when I'm doing this live, that's roughly how I would do it. You obviously have a little bit of carryover where the DL4 is still going, and then the loop station, once you're kicking it back to loop around, has a little bit of cover, but when you're playing this live, nobody notices anyway. So the next part of the song that I want to show you a sound from is this sort of double layered guitar sound. Let me show you the pedals that I have for that one. So for this next part of the song, the 3 pedals that I'm using are once again the line 6 DL4. I'm just using a preset delay that I had saved few years ago. I think it's a digital delay. It's something pretty standard. It's nothing like a ping pong or reverse or any of those modulated ones. I think it's just a standard digital delay, and I'm actually tap tempo wise for that part. I'm not tapping it to an eighth note or 16th or dotted eighth or anything like that. I'm just leaving it with whatever tap tempo I had put in when I made that delay. In that part of the song, it actually fits just fine to use it that way. And sometimes that's one thing to experiment with, is you don't always need to have a specific tap that lines up somehow with your grid. Sometimes just something random, which fills in the voids, helps for that wall of sound feel. The only other two pedals that I'm using are actually the Little Big Muff Pi from Electro-Harmonix. It's the same settings as before in the previous part of the song. And I'm also using the Holy Grail Plus from Electro-Harmonix. And that one I'm in the Hall setting for reverb. The amount I have turned up pretty high, obviously. It's almost close to maxing out. And then the blend, I cut that back, though, to just a little bit above 12 o'clock. And I find that, setting that Holy Grail Plus that way with a lot of amount, but cutting back a little bit on the blend, gives you a nice full sound that sits behind your notes. It's not going to clutter up the thing you're playing, but it's going to give you a nice heavy weight behind the notes that's going to stick around. It's kind of a long decay. All right, so in this part of the song, basically I do this pattern, these two layered guitar lines, in like a clean version, and then I also do it in a distorted version a little bit later. So let me show you actually in the song the part I'm going to be playing here. So in this part, this distorted guitar part, here's the sound that I'm getting, and actually the notes I'm playing. The first line is on the G string, and it starts on the 7th fret. And you can hear there's a lot of decay to the sound, but honestly, when you're playing these notes, I found that you don't get a whole lot of bleed between the notes. Like, the decay is just right so that it's thick and creating that wall of sound feel, but you don't get something obnoxious that's bleeding over too much into the other notes. So 7th fret here is where you're starting. You go 7, 9, 12, 11, all the way up here to 16, 14, back to 16, back to 7, and then you slide up to the 12. So playing it like I do on the track, it sounds like this. And all I'm playing is eighth notes, actually. I don't, some people would tremolo pick in a sound like this, but frankly, I'm pretty bad at tremolo picking cleanly. And just fooling around with the settings, I was able to get it to a place where, an eighth note in the mix sounds like a wall of sound anyway. The next line that I'm playing, the sort of harmony, is on the B string, and that's the 8th fret, the 10th fret, up to 12, back to 10, and then 12. And you go all the way up to, 17, 15, 13, 12, and then 8. It just kind of carries all the way down. And that one is the same. Oh, looks like my dog's going to enter the video here. This is Daisy. All right. Where were we? So starting here on the 8th fret, here's the pattern. these two layered guitar parts together sound a little bit like this. So anyway, that's all I got. If you got any questions about any of the pedals or what I was doing here, I know I kind of flew through this quickly. You can leave a comment below. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'll be coming out with hopefully some more of these videos, these how-tos of little quirks of some of the sounds I was making, maybe in the next few months or so. And keep your eyes open for an email or maybe a video too that I'll be releasing. The 1-year anniversary of my album Promises Kept is coming up, and so I've got some news for you just on what I've been doing in the last year, future plans for music, and some interesting things like that. So if you haven't got that record yet, if this is all new to you and you're not even sure who I am, check the link below. You can download my record for free. Name your price. Just type in $0. I don't mind at all. I'd love for you to have it. So you can go pick that up. And like I said, hope you enjoy it. And anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.